Namaste, and welcome to today's program. Today I'll be talking about the Gunas, and this is part 2 of a series on the 3 Gunas. In part 1 I introduced the 3 Gunas, and I talked about Sattva, Rajas, and Tammas. These are the 3 fundamental qualities of the mind. Sattva is the quality of clarity and purity. Rajas is the quality of disturbance and distraction and turbulence. Tammas is the quality of darkness and inertia. And these 3 qualities can consume the mind. Ayurveda teaches that disease is caused by Vata, Pitta, Kapha, Rajas, and Tammas. So to really understand how to be healthy, especially how to keep our mind healthy, we have to learn how to reduce the influences of these gunas on our mind. Now, let's say you're a person of Vata nature. Today we're going to be focusing on Vata nature. So you're a person of Vata nature, and maybe you've read a little bit about Vata. But what you might not know is that the personality of a person with a Vata nature changes according to the predominant guna of the mind. That's right. This is why 2 people who have a Vata nature can be very, very different from each other. So a person with a Vata nature could be a Sattvic Vata. A Sattvic Vata is an individual who has a lot of enthusiasm, true and genuine enthusiasm. Enthusiasm comes from the Greek root theos, which means God, and the prefix en, which means within. And so they have this bright light that radiates from them as though they're expressing the divine within themselves. We could say that they're deeply inspired because inspiration comes from that same root, only it's Latin. And so it comes from the root spire, meaning spirit, and inspiration, the spirit within. So it means that we are radiating that spirit out into the world. So a person with a sattvic Vata nature is going to be an inspired, enthusiastic individual. They tend to have a lighter nature. You feel great when you're around them. When they walk into a room, they lighten up the room. It's a really beautiful experience to be around a sattvic individual. And a sattvic Vata individual has that beautiful light, that lightness that is radiating from them. Now, a Rajasic Vata individual has more turbulence going on inside their mind and inside their consciousness. And that turbulence that goes on inside them causes Vata to express itself as anxiety, as nervousness, as worry. And so a Rajasic Vata individual is walking around the world tentative. They also might be very closed off, developing more of that hard quality that is inherent within Vata, and scared of the world. It's blocking that natural inner light that's there, because it's really there. And so as a person of Vata nature learns to work with their Rajas, transcend their Rajas, their inner light will begin to shine. It's always there. But they're challenged with anxiety, with fear, with worry, with nervousness. And that affects the nervous system in general. And it reduces our ojas, and ojas is what creates stability of the immune system as well as the mind. And so it's one of the factors in the cause of disease. And then there are individuals with a Tammasic Vata nature. And if they have a Tammasic Vata nature, this is the darkness inside the mind. This leads to inertia. Now, in the deepest darkness, there is truly inertia. This is like an individual who is severely depressed and they're hiding in their room and they don't want to come out. And they're really, really withdrawn and they've gone inside. And there's a dark depression that's there, and that's due to a Tammasic expression of Vata. But many people with a Tammasic nature have some shards of light that make it inside their consciousness. And that light that's there combined with the darkness creates even more agitation inside. And this can cause an individual to cause harm to themselves. And so they're struggling inside, and the harm that they can do to themselves would be to abuse their own body, or even in the darkest light commit suicide. And this is a terrible thing. And that's why individuals who are very, very deeply depressed are at risk of suicide. It's because of this tamasic Vata nature. Now, as we grow through our many incarnations that we understand occur in the world of Ayurveda and in the world of yoga, as we go through our incarnations, our consciousness evolves from tamas toward rajas and from rajas toward sattva. In other words, we start out in the dark and we move into the light. And as we move more and more into the light, we actually create some more turmoil within ourselves because we start to see more and more of the challenges. And that's what creates the fear and the worry and the nervousness and the anxiety. But as we continue to do our spiritual work in the world, as we continue to do our inner work, we transcend those dramas and we move into sattva. And as we move into sattva, the mind becomes calm and clear. And now there's no disturbance, and that light is able to flow from above down and the inside out and radiate. And when it radiates the divine upon everyone that we see, until ultimately we see the divine in all creation and we realize the divine within ourselves. And this is the spiritual journey. This is the journey that we are all on. And Ayurveda and its sister science, yoga, provide the guidance to be able to move through that journey. Ayurveda's role is to keep us healthy as we move through that journey. Yoga's role is to show us the path to move through that journey. So we walk the path, and Ayurveda keeps us healthy as we take that journey. Many blessings on your journey. May you move from tamas to rajas, from rajas to sattva, and may you find your inner light. Many blessings. Namaste.